Donald Young, the rise, the fall, and the longest wait for greatness in American tennis. From McEnroe's swagger to the hope of a new era. American tennis once overflowed with legends, from McEnroe and Connors in the 80s to Sampras, Agassi, and Courier in the 90s. Andy Roddick looked set to continue the tradition after winning the 2003 US Open at 21. But with Federer and Nadal dominating, his Grand Slam tally stayed at 1. The search for America's next champion began, and all eyes turned to a silky-handed lefty from Atlanta with a dazzling junior resume, Donald Young, as the hype reached full speed. The birth of a prodigy. Meet Donald Young. Donald Young was a prodigy from the start, coached by his parents and impressing John McEnroe by age 10. By 15, he was the youngest male to win a junior Grand Slam and reach junior world #1, even landing on Newsweek's Who's Next list alongside Novak Djokovic. Backed by big sponsorships, he turned pro in 2004, primed to be America's next tennis star, at least on paper. The painful first steps. Welcome to the big leagues. If Donald thought the Pro Tour would be a victory parade, the tennis gods quickly smacked that idea out of his head. In his first 2 seasons, 2005 to 2006, Young went 0-10 in ATP main draw matches. Zero, nada, zilch. His debut at some events was so rough that at one tournament he lost 6-0, 6-0 to Carlos Berlec, who then lost 6-0, 6-0 himself in the next round. Critics said he was being thrown into the deep end way too soon, skipping the challenger circuit where players usually sharpen their teeth. The result? Losses piled up, confidence wavered, and his can't-miss label started feeling like a heavy curse. Back to the tennis trenches. Small tournaments, big grind. By 2007, Young realized he needed to rebuild. He dropped into the challenger and future circuits, tennis's version of the minor leagues, where matches were often played in public parks in front of 2 spectators and a stray dog. But it worked. In 2007, he stormed through smaller events, winning 2 challenger titles, reaching 7 finals, and pulling off a junior Wimbledon win just for good measure. His ranking rocketed from 491 to 98 in a single season, one of the fastest climbs in tennis that year. The breakthrough. 2011, baby. The tennis world was still waiting for Young to have his moment, and in 2011, he finally delivered. At Indian Wells, he shocked world #5 Andy Murray in straight sets. At the Washington, D.C. tournament, he reached the semi-finals, taking down multiple top 50 players. Then came the US Open. Donald beat world #14 Stan Wawrinka in a 5-set thriller, then crushed Juan Ignacio Chela to reach the 4th round. Madison Square Garden-level hype surrounded him. Even though he lost to Andy Murray again, America thought, this is it, we've found our guy. By the end of the season, Donald's ranking jumped to world #39. The prophecy was coming true. Or so we thought. The collapse. The year from hell. If 2011 was a dream, then 2012 was the tennis equivalent of waking up late, missing your alarm, stepping in dog poop, and then realizing your car won't start. Donald went on a 17-match losing streak, the second worst in ATP history. For 6 months, he didn't win a single match. His ranking tumbled from 38 to 190. What made it worse? Because his ranking was still high early on, he got direct entry into ATP events, meaning he took his beatings on big stages instead of rebuilding in smaller tournaments. By year-end, the tennis world had whiplash. Was Donald Young a future champion, or just a what could have been? The comeback. New York, New York. Young's never been one to quit. In 2013, he fought through US Open qualifying and then absolutely demolished world #46 Martin Kleijan 6-1, 6-0, 6-1 in the first round. The New York crowd loved him. In 2014, he reached another Washington semifinal. In 2015, he pulled off 2 incredible 5-set comebacks at the US Open, both from 2 sets down to reach the 4th round again. It set up a rematch with Wawrinka, but the Swiss got his revenge. Still, Donald's fighting spirit had earned him a reputation. Maybe he wasn't the next Sampras, but he was pure entertainment.
the steady years. Almost there, but not quite. From 2016 to early 2017, Young hovered around the top 50. He had a few Masters 1000 round of 16 runs, 2 ATP semifinals, and played some of the best tennis of his life. His ranking climbed back to 42, close to his career high. But he never made that next leap. His game, built on consistency and counterpunching, was solid but lacked the weapons to take out top players consistently. The slow decline, slipping away. By 2018, first-round losses returned like unwanted spam emails. His ranking crashed out of the top 100. By 2019, he was barely competing at ATP level, spending most of his time on the challenger circuit. As of age 30, Donald was ranked 257 in the world, a far cry from the world beater he was projected to be at 15. What went wrong? It's tempting to point fingers. Some blame his decision to skip the challenger circuit early in his career. Others blame the coaching. His parents remained his primary coaches his entire career, which can be a blessing and a curse. Then there's his style of play. In juniors, his consistency was enough to win. In the pros, guys like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic had not just consistency, but weapons, shots that could blow opponents off the court. Without a killer weapon, Young often found himself in long rallies against players who could out-hit him. The legacy: not a champion, but a fighter. Here's the thing. Donald Young's career might not have lived up to the hype, but it's not a failure. He cracked the top 40, played on the biggest courts in the world, beat Grand Slam champions, and gave fans unforgettable moments. And let's be real, how many junior prodigies never even sniffed the top 100? Donald did it, and he stayed there for years. From next big thing to what if. Donald Young's story isn't the Hollywood script we thought it would be. It's messier, more human. It's about how talent can take you far, but tennis at the top is a brutal survival game. Maybe he'll have one last run in him, maybe not. But if nothing else, Donald Young will always be the guy who at 15 had the tennis world calling him the future, and at 30 still fought for every point even when the spotlight moved on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into tennis history, smash that like button, subscribe for more stories of sport's biggest rises and falls, and share this with someone who remembers Donald Young's hype. Also, click the link in the description to explore supplements designed to enhance your performance. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more exclusive and engaging content. Because in tennis, just like in life, sometimes the journey is the story.